Finding out that we were pregnant was the most exciting, craziest news ever. Like, I don't know how to explain the joy and just the rush of emotions that you feel. I always knew that I wanted to be a young wife, and I always knew that I was going to be a young mom. But once we were pregnant, it really put into reality what that was going to look like. And we shared it with our most closest family members and closest friends, and everybody was so rejoiced. Like, this baby was so showered with love, with so much love. And it was the most happiest and hardest at the same time of our lives, because we had so many decisions to make, and we were changing everything around this baby because we loved it so much. And once we had a miscarriage, it was devastating. I don't want to get into it a lot, just for my husband and I's privacy, but it was a very hard time, and it took some time to heal, obviously. And my heart is very dear and near those who have gone through a miscarriage, those who have lost a loved one. You are not alone. You are not the only one going through this. And that is why I decided to share our fertility journey. Eventually, with time, our lives just kind of went back to normal. Some time had passed after the miscarriage, and my body started to feel very weird. I'm the type of person that I could literally pinpoint when I was going to get my period. I know my body so well that I can tell you, I'm getting my period on this day, I have these symptoms, etc., etc. For a little while, for a couple of months, my body was just doing its own thing. It was going crazy, and I would have my period for weeks, not just a few days extra, but for weeks. It started to concern me because I started to feel weak. I started to just not feel like myself. I started to feel more tired. And I told my mom about it, and I'm like, what is going on? And she was like, Liz, you need to go get checked. I went to get checked just because at this point we were also trying to get pregnant again. It wasn't happening. Also, just this out of nowhere just started to happen, that my cycle started to become irregular when I've always been irregular. I presented this to my GYN, and they did an ultrasound. They ran some labs and find out that I have cysts in my ovaries. And they wanted to do an MRI because it showed on the ultrasound that I had a couple of extra body parts. Like, what? And they just wanted to make sure and have a clearer picture. So I went ahead and I did the MRI, and it turns out that I do have a couple of extra body parts in my reproductive system. I don't want to share which ones they are. I just don't feel like that is no one's business to know. I just don't feel like that's interesting to anyone. And they did show the cyst. So they diagnosed me with PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and basically it just means that you have cysts on your ovaries. In my case, at least, it's not cancerous and it's not dangerous. They're just there, and they are the reason why I've been having irregular periods and whatever. I sat down with my doctor, my husband, and we talked about what a good plan regarding our fertility journey and regarding my health was going to be. We decided to go on birth control. I say we, like he was on birth control, but I decided to go on birth control just to regulate my hormones, because if you're always on your period, your chances of ovulating are very little to none, and you can't get pregnant without ovulation and all that good stuff. So I went ahead, I did birth control, and I was a little bit iffy about it because I haven't had great experiences with birth control, and I'm also the type of person that does not like to be on medication unless I absolutely have to be. And my husband's here. Anyways, and he's honking at me. Okay. But I decided to go on it. I prayed about it before we prayed about it. My mom was praying about it because I didn't want to make the wrong decision, and there's just haven't had a good experience with birth control. Anyways, to my surprise, my body was just not taking it well at all. I didn't gain weight. I didn't go through that, but I did go through Hi.
I'll check out everything right.
No, come here. Look at the video.
Oh. I think that's another kiss for you when we come.
Hello. Being on birth control, it took a toll on me completely. Like, my mental health was not where it needed to be. I felt horrible. I did not feel like myself. My cramps were horrible. Like, my cramps were to the point that it felt like contractions. I have a high pain tolerance, and my cramps were literally like, it didn't matter what position I was on, it didn't matter if I was laying down, if I was standing, it didn't matter if I put a heating pad or I took a cold shower. They were bad, 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 bad. I was bleeding excessively. So for those reasons, I decided to go off it, and I was like, God, you know what? I did my part. I'm not saying get off birth control, and I'm also not saying go on birth control. That is completely up to you, your spouse, your healthcare provider. That is not up to me. Don't listen to me. This is just me talking about my personal experience with all of this. So please educate yourself before listening to a stranger talk to you about their health life. So with that little disclaimer, I just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, I decided to go off of it because of that reason. It was just doing more harm to me than good, and I tried it, just did not work out for me. So I decided to do more natural things that would help me, like changing my diet, eating gluten-free and dairy-free. I'm still in the process of completely converting to it, but just cutting out certain foods literally helped me so much. It has helped me tremendously, and I'm very, very thankful for that. So that leads us to what now? Like, are we planning on getting pregnant? Are we pregnant? Are we not pregnant? Etc., etc. And I just wanted to leave you guys with a prophecy that we received. So growing up, my dad would always say that I was going to have twins. And growing up, I just never really put much thought into my future kids. I knew I wanted like 2 to 3 kids, and that's it. But one day I was praying, and I literally could see myself in Carlos, and I saw 2 babies, and they were like the same age, they were playing, and I just knew that it had to do with our family. And then a couple of days later, or a couple of months later, I don't remember, I went to this retreat, and I was prophesied that I was going to have twins. And it's crazy because God always puts in your heart what is going to happen next. And yeah, we're super excited for the future. We know the gender, we know their names, and we are super excited for what the future holds regarding our babies. They are so loved, and just some practical things that we've done as believers, as Christians, as people of faith. We've anointed our belly every single night. We anoint my belly. We anoint our babies. We prophesy over them. We speak life over them. We speak life over my body. And yeah, the future is exciting. It looks exciting. It looks different. And I'm excited to see what the Lord has. All in His timing. It's just a matter of time until we hold our promises in our hands. And I wanted to share this journey with you guys because if you're struggling with infertility, even if you're not married and maybe you just found out that you have something that's a little funky about your body, I want you to know that you're not the only one. And you know, there's only so much that you can do in the physical area. There's only so much that science can do. And I'm a nursing student. I'm this close to getting my license. So I am for science. I work in the medical field. I'm not belittling the power of science at all. God invented science. So it would be silly for me to say that I don't believe in science. I truly do. But there's only so much that we can do in our human knowledge and in our human ways. And like I decided to do whatever I could do for my part, but the rest, it's up to God. It's all in His hands, and that is what His specialty is. And that is what we are called to just have faith, walk in faith, let go, and just let God. As cheesy as that sounds. So I'm really excited for what the future holds. I'm really excited about our babies. I'm excited for our family growing, and if you're going through a process of infertility, you are not alone. You are not alone. God is with you. His hand is all over your situation, your womb. He's all over your healing. He's all over your body, and He is literally healing every part of you. And I speak life. I speak hope. I speak faith. If you're dismaying, I speak courage and strength over you. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and you will see me in my next one. Ciao.